Hello, sixth graders. So today we're going to start a new topic, our last topic of this chapter, which is topic 13.5, polygons on a coordinate plane. Very similar to what we have been doing. We're still finding the area of polygons and different kinds of shapes, but now they're just going to be on a coordinate plane. But before I do that, I do want to go over the last question on our Google form from yesterday. So we were given a shape that looks like this. All right, now again, I'm doing it one way. You could have broken it up a totally different way, but I'm just showing you one way you can break it up. So there's a couple ways. You can break the shape up like this, drawing straight lines down that way and breaking it up into three shapes like that. Or you can break it up this way, horizontally, like that, and getting a shape here, and a shape there. Does not really matter which way you break it up. I'll keep it like this for right now. So we broke it up like that. So we have shape A, B, and C. So shape A, why I broke it up like this is because look, you can see right away, 2 and 5. So 2 times 5 of that rectangle is 10 inches squared for that area of A. And then we have B, 5 by 5. So 5 times 5 is 25 inches squared. And then lastly, C, we see the whole entire length, which is 14. So we have 14 times. Now the height, I don't want to take 10 because 10 is this whole entire thing. We don't want the whole thing. We just want here. So do you see any other dimensions that you can use so that you can only find this part? Well, I see the 5 here. So we can do 10 minus 5, and we get the remaining of 5. So we're doing 14 times 5. And if we do 14 times 5, 5 times 4 is 20. 5, 6, 7, 70 inches squared as our area for C. We add 10, we add 25, we add 70. 25 plus 10 is 35. 70 plus 35 is 105 inches squared as our total area. And if you broke it up the other way, you would still get 105 inches squared. All right, so if you do have any other questions on any of the other Google form questions, please make sure, don't hesitate to reach out to me when we have our Zoom meeting. If you're watching this before a Zoom meeting or something like that, make sure you ask any questions that you have on the Zoom meeting, guys. Take advantage of me being there and ask me any questions that you have. All right. So what we're going to be doing today is just polygons on a coordinate plane. All right. So for example, let me show you this. You may see something like this. And now I am on page 684 in your workbook if you'd like to go to that page to follow along. All right, so we are given a polygon on a coordinate plane. And basically what they're asking us to do is to find the area of this shape. Okay, now I don't have an area formula to find the area of this shape, but again, we can break it up. So there's a couple ways you can break it up, okay? I see that you can break it up like this and then like this. You can do that. So it's a rectangle, rectangle, triangle, okay? You can also break it up like this and like that. That's still the same thing, rectangle, rectangle, and triangle. They're just in different ways. So let's do it that way. Let me outline it so it's nice and bright. All right, so again, I like to label the shapes. This is A, this is B, and we'll call the triangle C. So they don't give you dimensions because each of these boxes counts as a unit. So you can count the boxes and see what the dimensions are. So if we look at A, I see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units across. So that is 6 down there. And if we count the width of A, how many units would the width of A be right here? Well, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 6 by 9, well, 9 times 6 is 54, and I'll just call it units squared. So that rectangle is 54 units squared. And B, what is, if we counted B, we would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across. And what is the width of B if we counted those units, those spaces, those boxes? Well, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so it's a square. So 5 times 5, we get 25 units squared. And lastly, C, which is the triangle, the base. If this is 5, well, that's 5. So the triangle is 5 times the height, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 5 times 4, but then we have to divide by 2. So 5 times 4 is 20. 20 divided by 2. This is 10 units squared. So our total area is 54 plus 10 plus 25. All right, and if we add up all of those together, we end up getting 89 units squared as our answer. All right, so that's all we're doing today. Basically the same exact thing, we're just not given dimensions because now we can actually find the dimensions ourselves by counting the boxes in the shape. All right, now you may also get a question that looks like this. So right now I'm turning to page 685 in your workbook. Okay, you may get a question that looks like question 4, and it says a polygon with vertices at 6, 2, 9, 5, 12, 2, 12, negative 4, and 6, negative 4, and it says to find the area. Well, in order to even find the area, you're going to have to graph those ordered pairs. So let's do that right now. So we haven't done this since probably like November, December. So this might be a good refresh of plotting points. So 6, 2, again, we start at this point here, 0, 0. Does anyone remember what that's called? 0, 0 is the origin. So we go over 6, up 2. So 6, 2 is right there. We can cross that off. 9, 5, over 9, between 8 and 10, up 5, right here. Okay, cross that off. We'll connect those two. 12, 2, over 12, up 2. Cross, we'll do that, cross it off. Now 12, negative 4. So we go over 12, and then where do we go for negative 4? We go down 4. And then lastly, over 6, and again, we have negative 4, so do we go up or do we go down 4? Well, we go down 4. And this is the shape that we created. So now we need to find the area of this shape. And this shape has 5 sides, so what would you call this shape? Well, I would call it a pentagon. It kind of looks like one of your standard pentagons, 5 sides, all right? So a couple ways you could break it up. I think it would be easiest to make it into a triangle and a rectangle. So let's look at this triangle. The base, if we look at these squares on the bottom, how many squares cover the base? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the base is 6. The height, which is not this slanted part, which goes straight up and down, so this height right here, how many squares or units cover the height from the base straight up? Well, there would be 3. So our area is 6 times 3, but then we have to divide by 2. So the area of that triangle right here, 6 times 3 is 18. 18 divided by 2, it's 9 units squared. And then our rectangle, what is the base? How many squares cover up, how many units are here on the bottom? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so that's the length. What about the width? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is actually a square. I didn't want to assume that right away. So 6 times 6, the area of this square is 36 units squared. So we're going to add up 9 and 36, and you end up getting 45 units squared as your area. All right? And so that's how you could do that problem. So you may see problems that just have the shape already in the coordinate grid, but you also may see problems where you have to graph the ordered pairs. All right? So let's do one more. All right? So right now I'm looking at problem number 7. Okay, on page 685. And I want you guys to give this a try. So I'm going to pause the video. I want you to give it a try on page 685. All right, so let's look. 16(1) over 16 up 1. 14(1) over 14 up 1. 14 negative 5 over 14 down 5. 12 negative 5 over 12 down 5. 12 1 over 12 up 1. Interesting shape so far. 10 1 over 10 up 1. 10 3 over 10 up 3. And 16 3 over 16 up 3. So we got a little T shape going on. All right, and again, a couple ways you could break it up. I'm going to just do this. So I have a top and a bottom. All right, so you might have broken it like this and gotten 3 shapes. That's totally okay. So the first one, what did you get for the area of this top shape? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 2. So 6 times 2 is 12 units squared. And this bottom shape, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 2 again, which is 12 units again. So if you add those together, we get 24 units squared as our area.